Hi everyone, welcome to this focus session where we're going to have a look at how we can use stretches and yoga poses to assist with alleviating sinus. Sinusitis is just so horrible to experience, whether it's a mere postnasal drip or a full sinusitis. It affects our control center sort of, and it is really frustrating and challenging to experience. So let's see how stretching and inversions can help us. So find yourself a comfortable seated position on the mat. Make sure that both sit bones are firmly in contact with the mat. Wriggle from side to side. Confirm the contact, and then we close the eyes for a moment to just become centered. Perhaps you want to turn the palms of the hands to face up to the ceiling or the sky. Maybe you want to leave the fingers open. Maybe you want to touch the index finger and thumb together in a little mudra, Jnana mudra, signifying the closure of an energy loop. We gently lift through the spine, lengthen the back of the neck, taking a deep breath of air, gently releasing on the exhale. Now maintain this deep breathing, and we take a moment to consider sinusitis and the effect of shoulders on the sinuses. So more often than not, we have tight shoulders whilst we have sinusitis. So in this session, we're going to look at loosening the shoulders, twists of the neck to assist with bringing about some movement in the sinus passageways. We're also going to have a look at some easy inversions you can do at home on your mat. So continue the deep breathing, gently open the eyes. And we're going to raise our arms to either side in the sky, doing a quick eagle arms. So drop the left underneath the right, crossing arms. Bend the arms, backs of the hands touch. Top hand goes forward and clasps round the other way when it comes back. Now see whether your shoulders have lifted like mine have, closer to the ears. If they did, drop them away from the ears. And now spread the fingers of that top hand. We start lifting the elbows away from the floor and move the hands forward away from the face. Lifting the elbows even further, moving the hands forward away from the face. Taking lots of breath, lots of oxygen for the body whilst we're stretching. Let's hold for another breath. And then gently unclasp the hands. 3 shoulder rolls to the back. Make them big shoulder rolls. Use the whole of the upper body to affect these, and then reverse direction. Feeling those shoulder blades moving on the back. And bring the body to a still. And now we do this to the other side. So spreading arms out to the side again. Now we drop our right arm underneath left. Bend the arms so the backs of the hands touch. Drop the top hand forward, clasp it round the other side into that knot. And if you don't get this knot today, don't give up. Yoga is a work in practice. It'll come. So grip the hands, just see that you hold onto the forearm or wrist, wherever you are, and spread the fingers of that top hand again. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, away from the ears, and we start lifting the elbows away from the mat. Drop the hands forward away from the face. Breathe deeply and lift the elbows even further. Drop the hands a little further away from the face. We hold for one more breath. Deep breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Gently release the hands. And again, we do 3 shoulder rolls to the back. Make them large, make them big. Feel the shoulder blades move and reverse direction. And when you've done your 3, we come to child's pose. So come to kneel on your mat. And we're going to drop the body forward, draping the chest over the thighs and start sliding the hands forward. Now actively press on the hands. Try and get the sit bones as close as possible to the heels. And then when you're ready, soften the elbows. Release all pressure from the shoulders. Drop the forehead forward, and we're going to rest for 5 breaths here. Be aware of the gentle opening of the sacrum, soft opening of the shoulders. You might feel slight pressure building in the head. Gently lift the head, and now we're going to sit on our haunches for a moment. And we get ready for rabbit pose. So from here, we're going to clasp the hands behind the sacrum on the lower back and drop the head forward. So position the crown of the head on the floor in front of the knees. You're going to have to lift your sit bones into the sky and come onto the crown of the head. Feel how the sinuses respond to the pull of gravity in the opposite direction to what they used to. And if you wish, if you want to work with the shoulders, it's a modification you can add. Lift the hands away from the lower back. Drop the hands overhead, stretching out the shoulder joints. Feel the increased pressure if you are following this modification on the head. Just be mindful here. If you feel you've had enough, then just come out the pose and we'll meet it seated. Let's hold for another 3 breaths. And 2. And 1. So if you have your arms overhead, gently drop them down to sacrum. Bring the body upright. Take a recovery breath. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Now interlace the fingers the other way with the other little finger on the outside. And we get ready to do this once more. Another rabbit, so get ready. Drop the body forward, come onto the crown of the head. Lift the sit bones into the sky, and then a modification optional. If you want, allow the arms to drop overhead once more. Now on the top of the head, we've got a whole lot of reflexes. So putting pressure on that area serves to stimulate those reflexes, as well as being an inversion, pulling, as well as being in an inversion which allows gravity to pull on our sinuses in the opposite direction to what we used to. So those of you familiar with yoga asana or poses, you can well imagine that forward bend, downward dog, all those kind of poses where our head hangs lower than the heart are hugely beneficial to sinuses, are hugely beneficial to relieving blocked sinuses. Now gently lower the hands onto the sacrum again. Come onto the heels, in seated, and again take a recovery breath. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And we get ready for a shoulder stand. So we're going to come to lie flat on our backs. And we're going to raise the legs into the sky. Now, in shoulder stand, it is very important to firmly support the lower back with the hands. So roll the sit bones into the sky and use the hands to keep them there. Now walk the hands as low on the back. So it's actually the hands want to be as close to the mat as possible. And draw the elbows in. We don't want the elbows to flare out. Elbows in as close to the midline as you can. Hands as high up the back. In other words, as close to the mat as possible. And we'll start straightening the legs into the sky. Very important to support the lower back here. Often what happens is that our legs hang over like this. So try and push them up 90 degrees with the mat. And we're going to hold this for a while. There's a lot of pressure building in the head because the head is now lower than the heart, of course. And there's a lot of pressure on the sinuses. So after compression, on release, we have what we call optimized circulation in the body. Because we build a lot of pressure or temporarily interrupt the blood flow. On release, the body knows to rush oxygenated blood to those areas, maintaining health, detoxing, building, repairing, restoring balance. So ultimately we'd like to hold our shoulder stand for 2 minutes.
when you feel you've had enough, gently start bending the legs. Maybe bring the ears and the knees in contact with one another, but bending the legs a lot, all the while supporting the lower back with the hands. And when you're ready, gently allow the body to roll back onto the mat and come to lie with the legs drawn up, and take a moment to feel the perfect contact of all four corners of the back with the mat. And we take a recovery breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then roll the body up to seated. And from here we come to standing and we find ourselves a chair. Position the feet far enough from the chair to go into flat back tabletop. So ideally you want a chair with back rest as high as your hip bones. Mine's a bit low today. You're welcome to bend the knees a lot here if the hamstrings are a bit cold or tight. Wherever you are, we drop the head all the way down to the floor. We feel that opening in the shoulders and the inversion of the sinuses again being affected by gravity. And I'll try and put the chin on the chest. And we're going to hold for 8 and 7 and 6. See if you can move the chin a little closer to the chest. And 3 and 2 and 1. Gently release. Let go of your grip on the chair. Grip the elbows. Drop the head low into a forward bend. Again, you're welcome to bend your knees as much as you need to. What we're looking for here is that soft neck. Wherever you are in your forward bend, shake the head in a yes movement. Shake the head in a no movement, holding no tension in the neck. Ragdoll style. We hang out here for 8 and 7 and 6. And if you want, you could sway from side to side. That's optional. And 4 and 3. And 2 and 1, and gently start lifting the body, unfolding the vertebrae one by one. Allow the head to come last, and we'll meet in standing. So apologies for my head being cut off there, but I'm sure you knew what to do. So to seal our practice, we're going to come to seated again. Find yourself a comfortable sitting position on the mat. And we're going to gently twist our head to the left. Keep the chin parallel to floor. If you wish, take your left hand, position fingers on cheekbone, twist the head a little more, and we hold for 3 and 2 and 1, and gently release. Turning the head the other way now. Fluid, graceful movement. And again, twist the head as far as you can, soft shoulders. Taking that right hand, if you wish, position on cheekbone. This is a modification, so it's optional. Exerting a bit more pressure and hold for 3 and 2 and 1, and gently release. Turning the head to neutral, facing forward. Now we lift our chin all the way up to the ceiling, feeling that stretch on the front skin of the neck. Allow the neck to be soft, no tension in the neck. Allow the head to be heavy and hang. And we hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently move the head all the way down to the chest, putting chin on chest. Interlace fingers behind the head. Exert a bit of additional pressure. If you wish, move the elbows into the midline, trying to touch the elbows. And hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently release hands. We're moving the chin all the way up to the ceiling once more. Once you have your position, chin pointing straight up to the ceiling or the sky. Soften the neck, allow the head to be heavy and hang. And we hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently move head all the way down to the chest again.
Interlacing fingers again, putting the other little finger on the outside this time. Again, exert a little bit of additional pressure. This is safe because we have no impact, small range of motion. Again, see if you can close the elbows in to the midline. Hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently release the hands. And we get ready. We drop our left ear close to shoulder. Shortest distance between shoulder and ear, and allow the head to be heavy and hang. And we hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Just feel how that stretch happens down the center of the opposite side of the neck. Now we're going to drop that head forward. Right side of forehead approaches right knee, and we hold for 3 and 2. And now feel how the stretch happens down the back of the opposite shoulder. And then gently roll the head back to center side and drop the head back. Maybe lift the chin a little higher into the sky. And feel how that stretch now runs down the front of the opposite shoulder. And hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently bring the head back to center side and lift the head to neutral. And get ready, we repeat on the other side. So now we're dropping our right ear down to right shoulder. Shortest distance again between shoulder and ear. Allow the head to hang. Again, be aware of that stretch happening down the center of the opposite side of the neck and shoulder. Hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Now gently drop that right side of the forehead closer to the right knee. And feel the stretch on the opposite side running down the back. And you can wriggle gently, small movements. Play around with the position of the chin and feel where your body needs that stretch. We hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Gently bring the head back to center side. Pause here for a moment, making sure you've got the right angle by feeling that stretch happening over the center of the opposite shoulder. And then drop the head back over the right shoulder. And again, play around a bit here with the chin, maybe lifting the chin slightly to the ceiling. Maybe dropping the chin and allowing the head to go further back, feeling that stretch happening over the front of the opposite shoulder, side of the neck. And hold for 3 and 2 and 1. And gently bring the head back to center side, lifting head back to neutral. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Bring the hands in prayer in front of the chest, and let's drop the chin in a gentle bow, closing the eyes, and we seal the session with a huge gratitude we feel inside our mind, inside our heart, inside every fiber of our body, for the amazing healing abilities of our body. I wish you a blessed day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this session.